There's nothing more enjoyable than building your own arrows for bow hunting. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So this year I got myself some of the new Axis 4mm match grade hunting arrows. I've wanted to shoot these since I've heard about them. They're pretty cool. They're micro diameter 4mm. They're thin, which means they're light. With this batch, I opted to go with the AAE hybrid fletches. I've heard a lot about these. These are 3-inch fletchings that are supposed to be really stable in flight, especially for this longer range shooting. For me, that's not super long range, but if you're a Western guy or you really like to shoot 60, 70 yards and beyond, you might want to check these out. They're built for broadheads. But for me, it's going to be a simple build today. The fletchings are already installed, as are the micronocks. So what I'm going to do is the important thing. A lot of guys, if you have your own saw, you might have made this mistake like I have. If you don't have your own saw, I highly recommend it. If you really like archery, it's about a $200 investment. You're going to save yourself a lot of money over the long haul by cutting your own arrows, and you know they're going to be cut and fit specifically for you. But the difference here, on the 6.5s, the mistake that I always would make in the past is you measure that arrow and then you say, oh, I'm all ready to go. Not when you're using outserts. An outsert is what it sounds like. It's an outsert that goes into the arrow and it stops right there. It doesn't go in like an insert flush to the end of the vein. So the difference there, and I measured this, it's 1.25 inches. So if I would cut these arrows the same as my original arrows from last year, I'd be way too long. My arrow would be sticking out that far. So I have to keep that in mind when measuring these. So as they say, as a good carpenter, my dad always would say, measure twice, cut once. I want to do that with these, and I want to make sure that I'm building these right from the start. Okay, so now that I've got it double checked, I'm going to mask up for this one. You don't want to breathe this stuff in. Put on my safety glasses and hearing protection. I'm going to cut one and I'm going to just double check again. One thing I should note is when you cut those carbon arrows, you set the arrow in there and you just turn it slowly. Let that blade catch it and it's going to cut it off nice and clean. So let's measure this, make sure that we're good to go. Find my old arrow, and this should be 1.25 inches difference from end to end. That's the important thing to remember. And we are right there.